Oh my god! Hello! Hi! Jesus! Christ! Hello everybody, hello, 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 hello. Christ! Wait, can you guys say something? Fucking, I've been talking the past 5 minutes. I thought I was already live, but it turns out I wasn't. Fucking, I forgot to press the start streaming button. Holy shit. That's a blooper reel right there. God damn. This community is fried. It is! Holy crap. Dude, so the past 5 minutes, I was talking. I was like, chat, you're making me anxious. Can you guys say something? Because there was no movement in the chat. I see there was a lot of people, but nobody was talking. It was like, I was asking for the past 2 minutes, hey, guys, say something. 30 seconds later, nobody said anything. It's like, is something wrong? But turns out I just didn't press the start streaming button. Holy shit, I'm retarded. God damn. It's been fucking what, like 7 days? It's only been a week since I last streamed, and this shit happens. God damn. Talking to yourself, yeah, I was. So yeah. Anyway. Oh, hi Lumi, welcome to the stream. Boomer ass, yeah man, that's just how it is, Lumi. I fucking 1 week without stream and I immediately forget how to do it. So I was away for actually a week because I had to go to the embassy. I had to take care of like tax documents because I have a problem with my AdSense where I'm not getting the tax offs. So okay, here's how it works, right? Because I'm not American or Canadian or in a place where I get like 100% of my money from YouTube. What I have to do is actually file for a deal that the US and the Philippines apparently has. The accident wasn't your fault. True, mildly. It really wasn't. Well, it was because I forgot to start streaming. Thank you so much for super chat, dude. Holy, thank you for coming. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I have to submit like multiple tax documents because otherwise, only 70% of the money that I earn will actually get given to me. Like, that's how fucked up this is, chat, okay? If I don't submit these tax documents, 30% of my money doesn't come to me. Google withholds it. So and even if I do submit these documents, I really only get like 85% of what I earn, which is still huge, but you know, that extra 15% is going to add up eventually. And aside from that, I also kind of wanted to go for a trip in Offkai, among many other things. So what I did was I went to the embassy. I tried to get a visa. Guess who got rejected this time? Yeah. Yeah. I got rejected again. Remember back in 2024? I wanted to go to Offkai too. Got rejected because I didn't have travel experience, right? This year, I tried to do it again because I got invited. Get rejected again. I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say. This time, I didn't, and this time, they didn't even tell me why I got rejected, chat. Like fucking last time, they told me it was because I lacked travel experience and the agent handling me was even like apologizing. Hey, very sorry, very sorry. I feel like she recognized that like my records are clean. Like the money coming in was smooth. I didn't have anything good, but it's because they have like some sort of criteria where the person in question there needs to have some travel experience. They had to reject me, but this time I don't know why. I really do not. Not that I can do anything about it anymore, TBH. It's not like it's a big deal now. I got rejected, that's that. I could try again. Right? Like, I could try again. Like, I basically asked when I'm allowed to try next time, and they said, I can technically do it anytime, but I have to pay the application fee again. Which is $200. Well, $185 specifically, but that's expensive for me, chief. Like, I don't want to fucking pay almost $200 just to get rejected again, bro. Lumi, I'm sure I can sneak you over if I say you're my mail order bride. True! True! Fuck, I wish. God, I wish. Actually, seriously though, maybe what I could have done is actually reached out to like a lot of the agencies that I used to work with, or even like some of the businessmen that I used to work with, and say, hey, I'm going to the U.S. Can you like, because your shit is incorporated in the U.S. or something, or you have like some sort of authority there, can't you just give me like a letter of recommendation? Like I thought of that after I got rejected. By the way, I feel like I should have done that first. You know, hindsight is 2020, but goddamn, dude. Goddamn. How are you supposed to get travel experience if you're not allowed to get the thing necessary to travel in the first place? By travel experience, they needed me to go to other places, right? Like Southeast Asia, Japan, China, right? And I did. That's the thing. Back in since 2024, I've already traveled a lot. I've been to Indonesia, I've been to Japan, I've been to China. I've been to China twice, and I've been to Japan twice too. So it's like, I feel like that's good travel experience, you know? But I guess that's just not enough for them. Are you looking physically fit? If you do, you could become a mail order. I am fit, but well, okay. I don't wanna like sell a false narrative of myself. I am fit, but because I haven't worked out in a while, I have a slight chub down here. Yeah. I'm not as chiseled as I used to be. Don't you have the short debuff? Yeah, I do. And that's why I don't want to be too buff. You know, I don't want to be too fit. Because if I'm too fit, I look like a meatball. So not fit. Yeah, not fit. Because there was a point in time back in 2023, early 2024, where I used to, I wasn't like fit. I wasn't like super like muscular or anything. I was leaning more towards like sort of lean fit, you know, the sleeper build sort of thing. Not as defined as a lot of people or that you might think it is, but like it was good enough, IMO. But then after Salengate, remember when I was farming that drama, I was farming a lot of these. Then I built up a lot of fat because you know, I was sitting on my ass, my eyes glued to the screen, fucking looking for the next drama to farm, bro. Yeah. You're still taller than me. True, I am 5'3". That's taller than most women. Hell, that's even taller than Bao. Bao's like 5'0". Actually, I'm taller than Sayu too. Sayu's like 4'11 or 4'10 or something. God damn. Did they check your phone? No, they didn't check my phone. They don't really check those things. Singapore is a nice place, food expensive. And I'd rather not go to Singapore, to be honest. Yeah, I've heard of the horror stories about how expensive that place is. Yeah. So Tyler 1 build? What's Tyler 1's build? I mean, I know Tyler 1 is super muscular. And short at the same time. No, absolutely not like this. Like, I was infinitely less muscular during my peak. Hi, Paul of Down. Welcome. You didn't like talk. You didn't miss much. I haven't even started talking about like what we're going to talk about. But hey, I guess let's talk about what we're here to talk about then. We have quite a few things, okay? I want to talk about like the red flags for VTubers. I felt like this was an interesting discussion. We're going to talk about this, the whole VTuber getting arrested for possessing something. Then we're going to talk about the burnt peanut fucking apparently blitzing everyone. You know, you guys already know my opinions about the burnt peanuts and like his label as a VTuber. And then we're going to talk a little bit about this because I saw that this got a lot of traction. A lot of people were actually clowning on this guy. And then we're going to talk about this. This one. Was EN VTuber always filled with so much negativity? We're going to answer this because I actually planned a video about this. Maybe I'll still make it, maybe not. I've kind of shelved the idea, TBH. I had more important videos to talk about. Then we're gonna react to the most infamous VTubers by royalty is here. And then that's it for now. Yeah. I would talk about a lot of the stuff that happened while I was away, right? Like there was the Saba situation. There was that one girl that said being a minor as a VTuber fan, being a minor as a VTuber fan should be allowed, among many other things. Fei getting banned, but I already talked about that in the second channel, so I feel no need to cover it anymore. So yeah, let's talk about this one because this is the headliner that we have right now. Fuji News, by the way, British police. VTuber arrested. British police arrested a popular VTuber and illustrator Mimi Yanagi for possession of her own drawings. Mimi revealed that she was held in custody after being arrested on April 20, so literally 10 days ago. Authorities confiscated all her devices and she is now free on bail with extreme conditions. She cannot possess adult content and must use a name approved by the police. British laws are extremely harsh regarding the possession of certain type of illustrations that authorities classify as restricted material. So it's fucking... Are you Britons living in 1984 right now or something? What's going on here? What's going on here? God damn. This is a recent law? Oh, you got a license for that drawing? Yeah, something like that, right? Good afternoon, Bun Buns. Sincere apologies for the absence. Mimi has a long story to tell. On Monday, Mimi was arrested by the UK police. I'd like to know... Oh, the account in question is Mimi Yabay. Per her bail conditions, her activities for the foreseeable future is to have both SFW and... Both... Okay, hold on. I'm being schizophrenic here. Per her bail conditions, her activities for the foreseeable future have to be both safe for work and fully transparent in order to prevent a breach of bail conditions. Mimi apologized. Wait, so she literally cannot make porn? Can I see the art she got arrested for? Oh, yeah, okay, I guessed why. It's a lolly. She's a lolly. She got arrested for drawings. Holy shit. There's not even... It's not even that suggestive. Like, what are we doing here? Oh, hi, Mildly, thank you. UK will arrest people for art, but not for the roaming grape gangs because it's a certain group of people. I see that sentiment a lot. I see a lot of sentiment about, like, the UK's politics being super fucking weird right now. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I see it a lot. I even see videos. So it's like, to me, that kind of makes it look weird, yeah. Holy shit. The pedos running this country are constantly shining the spotlight on victimless crimes. Actually, I did remember. Was it King Charles or like which one was it? It was one of the royalty in Britain where he was part of the Epstein files apparently, and like he immediately got like dressed down. Holy. And I remember this happened to that one guy in Ireland. You'd have to remind me which one it was. I actually don't know. Thank you, Zipizap, though. Yeah. Jesus, Andrew. Oh, that was Andrew. Okay, the king's brother. I see. That was Prince Andrew. UK became somehow more worse than America. It's so sad. It does look so sad. I feel like a lot of governments in the world has like very weird, very misaligned priorities. Like priorities that should be, I think, common sense. Like, what do you mean this VTuber, because she's a lolly, got fucking arrested? Like, you know, to me, I feel like that's a slippery slope of a law, IMO, right? Because it's like, what type of drawings are arrested next time? So are grape illustrations or grape mangas going to be affected next time? Are suggestive material that's supposed to be depicted as a bad thing going to be like fucking arrested next time? Like, there's a lot of things that could change with that sort of thing, right? Like, goddamn. The guy in Ireland got arrested for playing teaching feeling. Oh my god! Really? That happened? What are they gonna do? Fucking arrest people for playing Saya no Uta next? Holy shit, dude. Oh my god. Protecting real children, protecting fictional kids. True. Oh my god. Incest content is also banned? What are they doing there? What are they doing in there? I mean, hey, I can't shit talk them that bad because fucking the Philippines isn't any worse. Or sorry, isn't any better. But at the same time, it's like, goddamn, dude. First world country. Protecting the children morality. I have an issue whenever a politician or any government says that it's there to protect the children or whatever. Because I feel like protecting the children is just an excuse for political narrative control. You know, it's an excuse that they use for invading your privacy. It's the excuse that they use for censoring the things that you say. Like, these are not the steps that you do to protect the children. They really aren't. Like, what the fuck do you mean? There are better protocols. There are better ways to do it. Like, I don't fucking know. Childcare, increasing welfare, maybe holding their parents more accountable, making the parents actually do their job as fucking parents instead of throwing them into the fucking internet. Like, come on, man. Come on. UK arrested over 12,000 people of its citizens over social media posts last year, and second on that list was Belarus at 6,000? Wow. Holy crap. Somehow the only countries that defend lolly stuff being fiction is Canada and US because they've already had court cases thrown out. Oh, true. True. And that's weird considering it's usually Canadians and US people that defend, that like hates the lolly stuff. There's also Japan, I guess. Even Japanese politicians are all about, dude, it's fucking fiction, who cares? Like, remember when those dramas happened back then? Yeah, especially it was, one major incident was also back in, was it Comiket? Yeah, it was Comiket. Where, I think it was also Britain actually, where British people were throwing shade at Comiket and almost like asking Comiket people to ban like the whole term even, among many other things, because goddamn they had like a lolly section in there. But even Japanese politicians were like, dude, it's fiction, shut the fuck up, who cares? Goddamn. One Comiket got hit. Yeah. What happens if she gets convicted? Will she be a registered SO? That, I feel like they haven't fleshed out the law enough to make that happen. So I don't know how they're gonna do it. I feel like a lot of government laws in the world are not written properly, and you know that's to a certain extent writing laws is a trial and error. But I feel like people should, like the politicians that we're paying to write and like make these things, should really do a better job doing it. Yeah, the publicity stunt so far. Yep, always is, always is. IMO is such a dangerous precedent. It does. So anyway, that's what happened here, I guess. It's crazy. You're asking too much for a politician to do their job? Yeah, I know. I know. I'm pretty kid is not the first and not the last. I can genuinely believe that. I can genuinely believe that. So let's talk about the next thing, okay? I want to bring attention to this first, because this is the one that I really want to talk about first, okay? I even pulled out the notepad here just so I can like convey my thoughts properly and write down my notes, okay? So Tomoe Omari says, was VTuber Twitter always filled with so much negativity? This isn't really towards anything in particular, but I feel like if I ever browse around or I see people finding any small thing to complain about, people chiming in on stuff that doesn't concern them for brownie points, etc., etc., I wish there was more joy and merriment. And even EB was up here saying 2020, 2022 was the golden age. So, I wholeheartedly agree with this. I do. And look, I even pulled out the notes so we can list them out, okay? Because I like I said, I did have somewhat of a video idea for this. It's already been brewing in my head already. I feel like I already know my talking points. I even have like 4 points, right? Let's call it the 4 Ds. Why VTubing is negative. Reason. The 4 Ds. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first one is desperation, then disillusionment, and then division, and then drama. Okay? So, I'd like to start off by saying that VTubing has always kind of been like this. It has. But specifically towards small corpos and EN VTubing. The reason why it seems more negative now is that negativity sells and that there is more people. More people means more creators are using negativity to sell. I would know. I literally have the stats to back it up. Right? Back in 2020 and 2021, there's always been a lot of negativity. Right? Like even in places like Hololive. There was like, even Hololive was not safe from this. There was the Mel being sex pested. There was the Holocaust. The Coco Taiwan incident, the Mori Calliope pouring a bow Sea Dog VA arc, the Russia incident, the V Shoujo Nakstaku drama, the goddamn Mano Aloe situation, the fucking Melodies model being copyright struck, the Cyberlife stuff, the Tsundere and My Holo TV. Like there was a lot, okay? There's always been like quarterly or monthly influxes of drama and bad situations that happened in the early days of VTubing. So it's always been quite negative if you paid attention. But back then, it was actually a little harder to pay attention and linger on to the negativity for too long. Because VTubing was a novelty. Because it was so novel, it was so new, it was so inspiring and exciting, a lot of people chose to be very optimistic and positive about a lot of people's experiences. That was a time where we wanted and liked to give off the benefit of the doubt. I mean, hey, say what you will about Hololive's forced sanitation being cringe or weird sometimes, but there's a reason why within Hololive's closed doors, right? Even if there are like the occasional drama, it's more peaceful and orderly compared to the indie drama scene, indie VTubing scene. It's like a desert, right? Like Wild West in the outside, fucking civilized society in the inside. Hi, Rima. Wait, who got arrested? Oh, it's just this drama. It's this VTuber that owns art of herself and she's a lolly, so she got arrested. Yeah. Anyway, so, yeah. Back to what I was talking about. What was I talking about? What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Hololive bad. Hololive good. Indie bad. Right? And because of this, I will unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on how you look at it, have a lot to blame on indie VTubers. Both big and small. I am sorry. They are actually, it cannot be denied that them being the way that they are caused a lot of the negativity. They did. The fuck is right, Rima. So yeah, because freedom, right? I think like the whole V Shoujo freedom thing is like a key part of it. Back then, again in my, like I said, my V Shoujo video, back then it was a positive force. I'm sure they meant it positively. A lot of other VTubers also wanted to have that sort of mentality. But what a lot of indies look at freedom is actually a lack of accountability. And to them, that's a very good thing to have. To them, it meant that you can tweet anything, say anything on stream, even bad ones, and not have to suffer any repercussions. Right? Like the same way a VTuber would experience in a VTuber agency like Hololive. This is normally fine. Chat, my hot take is this is normally fine. You can tweet out your weird things here and there, it's fine. But when a shit ton of people do this, for the sake of engagement farming or sympathy bait, because this is how a lot of desperate people are, right? People that are desperate and want to grow, want to say or do things in order to get popular. Because this happens a lot, Twitter especially gets a room face farted by a shit ton of negativity. Suddenly, a lot of frustration posting happened. A lot of vague posting happened. And after all of that, the disillusionment happened. Every era starts off in strife before it stabilizes, but that's just being foolishly optimistic. I would like to incline that's true too. Yeah, my boy. Thank you so much, by the way. Yeah. So that's when the disillusionment happened. Because what's even more bad, what's worse than your favorite VTuber doing this, is when they don't stop doing this. The more they talk, the more they tweet. Sometime, in some way, somewhere down the pipeline, you kind of start disliking them. This is a very important reason, the disillusionment, right? The more VTubers talk in Twitter, the more stupid or shallow or inauthentic they show that they are, whether or not they realize it. We know that VTubers put on a show, put on a mask to entertain us, but on fucking Twitter, you still have to put on a mask, bro. Like, come on, I don't want to know that my Oshi is this conniving whore that actually hates my other Oshi, actually. Like, I don't want to hear any of that, right? I don't want to know your internal drama. I don't want to hear your private businesses and your relationships. It, quote, ruins the immersion. In fact, to me, that's the valid part of the immersion break outrage. Right? It's not that you break character, it's that you start slowly and accidentally unmasking yourself as a person that your carefully crafted narrative didn't paint yourself to be. Like, yeah, back then, the occasional people, the occasional V-Shoujo members were doing this, like Nyanners and Vebe, but now it seems like most indies do this. Right? And it's not just about these people tweeting out insane shit on Twitter, it's the small things, it's especially the small things, chat. It's a lot of these VTubers complaining about the small things despite being 500k Andy. It's the egregious name calling. It's them being catty on stream, sharing stories about someone that makes them look malicious, right? It's the vague posting about some concerning bullshit. Hell, even it's the sympathy baiting. Literally that anything that can come across as catty or fake or weird. It's the small things, piled on top of each other till it escalates into a general dislike. Right? Like, I think this is like the major reason why people say that fucking Western VTubing is bad. Because a lot of these things are minimalized in the indie in indie JP VTubing. Or at least that's how it appears like to us, because you know, to a certain extent we don't understand Japanese. Right? Yeah. And because of the disillusionment, this is where the division comes in, right? The division. So there is a politicization of Twitter that went into play. Like, I don't exactly know when it happened. Maybe in 2024. Like, there's so much politics in Twitter now, or at least there's a whole lot of attention to it now. Back then, everyone, like back in 2020 to 2023, almost very few people were talking about politics. Right? Obviously not everyone, but because back then, many people knew what talking about politics was going to do to you, do to your friends, do to your agency, do to your circle. Excuse me. Even accidentally, it can ruin your careers. It divides people. Right? Now, people are people are actually like taking advantage of the division part because they figured out that if they just can lean into one political side and broadcast that shit on Twitter, then they can make some money off of it, right? They can. Even if they don't appeal to the general demographic, if they like double down on their political angle, then they can still make money regardless. Us versus them mentality. We see it a lot. And as a whole, aside from Hololive, it's hard to find spaces where politics doesn't play a part into a VTuber's content these days. Because in multiple cliques and multiple VTuber friend groups, there is an underlying tone of politics in there now. They play a part of it in some way. And a lot of people can see it. A lot. Yeah. And aside from politics, by the way, there's also the VTuber industry has a very specific category system, like nations, I guess, that has its own sets of beliefs and direction that they want VTubing to go, right? Like, let's make a sub point here then. Let's make politics and uh, what's it called? What's it called that? Oh, tribalism. Yes. There's the Twitch V Shoujo side, there's the Hololive side, there's the Nijisanji side, and then there's the small corpo side. These four nations used to live in relative harmony, but then as VTubing grew, right, like the differences between them grew too. And now we're at the point where Twitch and V Shoujo culture hates idol culture and the Hololive retardation, whereas the Nijisanji and small corpo side hates the engagement farming and the hate and whore behavior of Twitch. Of the Twitch side, rather. The Nijisanji side hates the fat fucking chudness of the small corpo side, whereas the small corpo side hates the Nijisanji woke-ass sisterism. Like, the tribalism is actually in full force now. Again, because for some reason, politics got associated into different nations. Like, into different parts of in the VTuber sphere. Tutorial is always politicized, the end. It's just that, since Musk bought it, everyone can bicker about it without getting banned. Pre-Musk was leftist. Twitter was always politicized. I feel like you're correct, but back in 2020, like before, 2022, 2023, before Musk bought it, ain't no VTuber was going into Twitter for the sake of the politics, or for the sake of like broadcasting their own beliefs or whatever. Nobody was doing that, or at least very few people was doing that. I mean, I know that there was always a lot of political discourse in Twitter, especially because Twitter was where a lot of the Tumblr immigrants came into, right? Like, I know that there was a thing, but back then VTubers weren't participating in it. Now they do, because it's profitable now. Now it actually gets them numbers, and numbers go up. Yeah. So that's what happened. In my opinion, at least. Yeah. And you have to remember, in terms of division, there's always been a divide back then. But back then, people were more able to live with the differences and just have fun. You know, back then, even there was like some fights between Nijisanji and the Hololive fan base. But back then, we used to actually try and respect not making trouble for our Oshis and the cultures we are fans of. But because of these last two reasons, we slowly got out of that habit. We just do it anyway. If not in direct callouts, then via vague posts and shit. Yeah, now we call each other names, we do. That's all there is to it. Yeah. And then lastly, drama. Now, let's get back to let's talk back about the negativity real quick, because that still plays a part. Drama culture is also a reason for this extreme negativity. It is. Right? And, well, admittingly, I played a part in this. Right? Back then, there were really only two drama tubers, chat. That was Rev and Hirohei. Back then, remember that? Back in like 2020, 2023, back then when fucking Hirohei and fucking Rev was like the only drama tubers that existed. Yeah, back then I wasn't even covering drama. I was making documentaries. News people were Kyo and False. I really only started to lean into the drama tuber angle back in 2024 during Selengate. But Selengate was a huge part of the reason for this negativity. The drama culture, the corpo drama, the corpo culture, and a lot of this negativity spirit bomb came out of Selengate. Right? Because chat, the views don't lie. Drama and negativity sells very, very well. Despite how many people say that they hate drama, these same people are gonna turn up with popcorns whenever the next dumpster fire happens. It's just what happens. It's just what it is. Like with so many drama tubers now megaphoning the same topics to their individual audiences, yeah, one's feed is going to be filled with a lot of drama. Right? It's not, and it's compounded even more by the fact that it's not just drama tubers now. We got drama tweeters, chat. We got drama tweeters. Holy shit. God damn. All of these together collide into a bunch of engagement farming, sympathy baiting, drama farming soup. that creates this air, this like rancid aura of negativity in VTubing, especially in the indie space. That's just what's happening now. It is. It is. That's why I think why EN VTubing Twitter was always filled with is filled with negativity now. That's what happened. That's what happened to the world. Desperate women doing a lot of desperate things to get desperate attention. Fans and the women themselves being disillusionment because of that. And then because we want to be comfortable, we got divided into multiple sides. And then the drama that comes from that and how everybody like makes money off of it. Yeah. These are what happened. Why VTubing is so negative. Yeah. Please, I want to go back before these people took over Twitter. Sorry, I drank water. Yeah. Also, Google Docies. Yeah, the Google Docies part are the Google Doci culture is part of the drama culture now. It's not just drama tubers, chat. Okay. I know I mentioned drama tubers a lot for the drama incident, but it's not just drama tubers. It's also these fucking VTubers. You know why? The smallest slights, the most nothing burger accusations, all turned into Google Docies now, because they know that they know that it gets them views. They know that it gets them money. It gets them attention, and that's what they want because they're desperate, right? They're fucking desperate. They really want to make that bag. They really want to be vengeful. They really want to play into this emotional stuff. That way they can have shit to farm, shit to talk about, shit to a reason to play victim, among many other things. Yeah. It's not just us, okay? These fucking people making Google Docies for the most nothing burger reasons, trying to end people's careers, are also part of a huge part of the drama. A huge part of the problem. And I can really only fucking, like, you know, I think it started last year. This whole Google Doci thing started last year. With the Selen, sorry, not the Selen. With the, what's his face? With the Cindergate. Yeah. I think that ruined the perception. I mean, indie EN VTubing has always had some sort of slight connotation of negativity, but after Cindergate, yeah, that's when it exploded. That's when it's now okay to hate or to criticize. It's suddenly more open. Oh, sorry. Big indie VTubers are suddenly more open to getting criticized. Back then, that was like a cardinal sin. You weren't allowed to shit talk the big VTubers like Iron Mouse, like Bao, like Shylily, like many other people. But now, there's huge reasons to now. Whether or not those reasons are valid or not is up to like the individual reporter or the individual person. But regardless, there's a reason to now. You know? A comment I read once: VTubing is a female-dominated space with a male-dominated audience. I think about it and it explains 90% of the problems. Unfortunately, that's true. Not even to be like sexist or anything, but it's like, are we really not going to admit and address the fact that women hate the one person in the world, the one gender in the world that hates women are not actually men, but also other women? Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't it the Luca stuff that started the Google Docies? No, not really. The Luca Google Doci was, I don't remember if that Google Doci was bad or good, but I do remember thinking that Raziel Warmonic is a Superman Hera. Probably the worst person to make that fucking Google Doc, but it didn't necessarily get rid a lot. It didn't take away from the crimes of, okay, maybe not crimes, but it didn't take away from the bad things that Luca did in that document. Yeah. Does this mean that VTubing in the West is a mistake? To a certain extent, it's valid to feel that way. Yeah. So, that's why. That's like my long-winded explanation. There's really no other, there's really nothing to it than that. I'm not gonna lie. Let's look at this. I want to look at the responses. Oh shit! It's the meme! Hololive taught me that women are more likable under an oppressive moral code that limits what they can say and do. I mean, hey man, look, I like to shitpost about it, but this is true to a certain extent. Obviously, this by itself is not necessarily a right thing, but at the same time, it's like when we roll back how we want to word it, it's true. Part of the reason why, like, the whole it's infested is because, like what I said earlier, freedom to a lot of people means lack of accountability, and people not being held accountable is like every VTuber's favorite pastime rather. Yeah, this is how it is. You think Ian means English? No, it was extra negativity. So true. Nope, it got way worse after Elon monetized edgelording and rage baiting. I'm gonna be so fucking honest. I don't think Elon... Okay, so I have my own gripes with Elon monetizing Twitter, and there's a lot of fucking these engagement farming retards on Twitter now complaining about not earning like their thousands of dollars reposting and like fucking making the most retarded ass content and Twitter possible, but I don't think that's like what happened to VTubing specifically. I think a lot of the VTubers like rage baiting, engagement farming, sympathy baiting, that's not, they don't do that for money. No, they do that for attention. Yeah, for attention. When Westerners co-opted what VTubing was and turned it from an immersive form of entertainment, think boost crews for playing adults into moving anime avatars for Menheros. True. Yes, queening until they eclipse to the sun. True! True. Fuck me in the ass, dude. So, yeah. That's what happened. Oh shit, speaking of, actually. Can you guys believe this? Speaking of rage bait, this is fucking rage bait at this point, okay? Most watched English-speaking VTubers. The Burnt Peanut at 73 million. So, are we still running with the narrative that he's a VTuber? He's definitely botting. Oh, I can't care. To be honest, I can't care less for anybody botting. Yeah, I thought about it a lot, chat. Okay, so in terms of botting, I thought about it a lot. I used to have the opinion that botting is unequivocally bad, right? But then, if everyone bots, okay, so how are morals enforced? Okay, chat, how are morals enforced? Or rules? Rules and morals are enforced when the majority agrees that an action is a good or a bad thing. So what happens when the majority stops thinking that a certain action is a bad thing? Is that still a moral thing to do? Is that still a bad thing to do? Right? Like, I think about it a lot. Because view botting is a thing that everybody does. Sorry, not everybody, but like 99% of Twitch streamers do. Like, view botting. Obviously, it's still a scummy thing to do, but in the grand scheme of Twitch streamers, of calling it out, of it being like a malicious thing, is it really a bad thing anymore? Yeah, I feel like as a streamer, as a Twitch content creator, you need to ignore. You tend to want to ignore morals now. You tend to want to like do everything you can to be popular. You know, it's a cutthroat industry. I obviously, chat, I don't agree with it. I still think botting is bad. I still think that botting isn't like is a thing that you shouldn't do. I will still call it out when I see it. But at the same time, it's hard for me to keep it's hard for me to call it out when even I know that my favorite creators also do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't really care about him botting. I care about him being considered a VTuber, which he is not. He uses the medium, but he's not part of the culture. We said this multiple times in the past. How can I hate someone that I don't know how to begin with? It's because I think people can dislike someone if they represent something that you do not like. To me, that's peanut. I don't dislike the guy. I've seen the guy's content. I thought he was funny. But he is not a VTuber. And him rage baiting VTubers and VTuber fans and him being included in bullshit like this, it's not his fault. Actually, yeah, it is his fault. But I can't necessarily blame him. Right? Because why the fuck is he considered a VTuber? And then this got so bad. That stream charts actually fucking like changed it. Look at this, okay? Look at this. VTubing just hit a new level. Whatever. And then it's fucking peanut. It's fucking peanut overtaking the majority. But then stream charts make an entire thing. Most watched English speaking VTubers. And now it's back to like the regulars. Based on hours watched, excluding the burnt peanut. Low. Yeah. Just how it is. Also, wow, Meloko is here. Good job, Meloko. Like, unironically, you're the GOAT, man. Carrying fucking Nijisan GEN. That's so funny. Because the Streamer Awards made him a VTuber, sadly. Oh, God, I fucking hate... God. Carrying because most of her viewers are JP. Yeah, no, exactly. It's good for her. She pivoted. She found out the strat. How does he even steal VTuber fans' views? He doesn't. That's why it's rage baiting, because obviously we know that a lot of the things he's talking about is not true. The Burnt Peanuts fan base are not the VTuber audiences. It's just the general Twitch normie fan bases. So, in reality, the Burnt Peanut doesn't actually harm or even benefit like the medium of VTubing. Despite like what a lot of these people are saying, they do not. Because for Peanut to actually have that effect, he would have to engage and have VTuber fans in the first place. That's not what he's doing. That's obviously not what he's doing. So he doesn't touch VTubing. He doesn't affect it. He's far removed from it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing for him and for us, right? It's really not. Yeah, yeah, exactly. He's entirely separate. Bibo was there. Yeah, Bibo was here. I'm surprised. By the way, this is hours watched, so this doesn't mean the most viewed. Like, oh, sorry. This does not mean that this isn't this. Yeah, this does not mean VTubers that are the most viewed, or has the most viewers. It's just the most watched. It's just hours. So the more you do endurance streams, the more you stream more hours, the more views you'll get. Fucking obviously. But in terms of numbers, probably not. Has the VTuber fandom reached critical mass, though, that everyone has found their Oshis and VTubers are just fighting over the pool? Maybe it's not the critical mass, but Twitch VTubers do that a lot. Twitch, the indie Twitch VTuber scene does that a lot. Yes, they do. So, I think it's funny. I think it's insane, even. Oh, if an individual will fully post their face and attach it to their VTuber model, they are not a VTuber. That's my hot take. I mean, I feel like there's a half and half there, mildly. I feel like if you do it occasionally, like maybe like twice every 6 months or even twice a year or something, like just the occasional posting, I feel like you'd still be a VTuber. But I do agree that, like fucking Hemomal, okay? Let's use Hemomal because Hemomal is like the easiest fucking example. Hemomal. Let's use Hemomal. Where's Hemomal here? Hemomal. Okay, here we go. Bro is She's a VTuber. But most of her postings are just her IRLs. It's just her, like, you know, it's just her body. Her actual body. Not even her VTuber body. And her main content, even on like, oh fuck, bad. Even on her like Patreon stuff is just her like body. She's not a VTuber, IMO. Not a VTuber, IMO. At least, like, you know, we can call Bao or Shiley or what's her face? Fei Fei or whatever a whore, but at least they're actual VTubers. At least their Patreons and their lewd contents and the stuff that they horny post are actually using their models. But Hemamal doesn't do that shit. So I agree with you to a certain extent, because there are cases where a lot of people LARP as VTubers. There's a lot of like e-girls, a lot of women out there that wants to LARP as VTubers because they know that VTuber fans simp easy and are very profitable. Yeah. Don't scroll there. Yeah, I stopped. I had to stop. Yeah. Maloko found a cheat code that she's exploiting. Hey, good for her, man. Good for Maloko. I think she should keep doing it. I mean, it's the same reason why Noor... remember back in... Okay, I made a video about this like 3 years ago. But back when the Jisanji India was a thing, Noor was the only one that was relatively successful because Noor was the only one catering to the JP fan base. Whereas the other two, I forgot even their names, Adinata or fucking... I don't remember. Yeah, those two were just fucking left completely in the dust. Because they were catering to an audience that didn't exist yet. Stolen Valor. Yeah, it is Stolen Valor, IMO. This is a Sukino user, right? It is. It is. Not India? Yeah, no, India. Did I say Indonesia? I said India. Yeah, India. Clara from JP also did that. She was JP, faced JP, but 85% of her content was EN. Like IRL posting? I didn't know that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really. Even before the Clara situation and Phase JP happened, I accidentally scrolled. Fuck. Okay. As I was saying, even before the Clara situation blew up, I didn't really follow her all that much. I knew of her. A lot of people were glazing her, but you know. Oh shit. Bro, yeah, I know. I was literally just told not to scroll it, but for some reason my fucking ADHD attention span brain decided to goddamn scroll. Where the hell is Clara now? Probably preparing to debut as an indie. She did hint that she was gonna come back. Probably she's made a lot of enemies in Phase Connect too. Anyway, what's this? This guy still says he thought everyone knew Saikuno was playing up the uwu shy anime persona. Let's watch this.
I just thought everyone knew that uwu shy anime boys didn't exist in the real world. I thought we were all in on this kind of persona he was putting forth. So for me, it wasn't super shocking. It wasn't like finding out Mr. Rogers was drug smoking, drinking guy. It was just like, oh, I mean, he's not actually a uwu shy anime boy. Like that clip that's going around, it's kind of like me acknowledging the fact that, guys, we know he's not a shy anime boy, right? He's a 30.
I'm probably referring to the clip where he says he sees through him.
30-year-old man. This is like a persona thing.
Well, yes and no, but I felt like he did do that even around us. Like, he had the time where I felt like he wasn't who he made himself out to be in the public was when he talked about money or like other things here and there, but he would still say stuff like, oh, I don't talk to, you think I talk to girls and like all this stuff.
Yeah, maybe this is like a guy versus girl view. So I think a lot of guys just maybe...
No, I think it's because he's method acting. Saikuno truly is like the Ayano Koji of fucking streaming, bro. Bro was keeping up those appearances, that manipulative behavior, 24 hours. Nobody knew who he was. Behind closed doors, everyone is just his tools, you know what I mean? That's what's happening, goddamn.
We didn't buy Saikuno's act, or just think, like I did, it's like, we're all in. I thought we were all in on the joke. But to be fair, in the past where any one of us would push back against that persona publicly, his fans would get really upset at us, like, quote-unquote bullying him. I lost count amount of times I had to.
True, that does happen. That does happen. Oh shit. Hello, Covercorp. I know you're trying to expand the market by collabing with HoloLive X Splave, but you decided to downsize your own male con. Wait, what's Splave? Is it kind of ironic that you collab with male talent from another company, but you abandon your own male talent? What's Splave? I have never heard of Splave. Splave JP. Are you like a boy band? Oh, it is a boy band. Oh, it's a VTuber boy. It's Korean. It's fucking Korean. Dude, these Japs and these fucking Koreans are collabing? Wow. Racist, by the way, with intent. Wow. Suicide. No, suicide, don't do it. Wait, that's a lot of retweets though. Are people angry? That's a lot of retweets. Oh, Kanauru is involved. Okay, so nobody is angry. So I guess it's like out of excitement. Wow. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I expected a lot of backlash too. That's why I was surprised. I saw a lot of retweets. Like I thought there would be like political Andes, like oh my god, a Jap and a fucking Korean is collabing. Oh my god, Suicide collab with males. I mean, Suicide has always collabed with males, but wow. But it seems like not many people are. DN watch just slurs while on stream, man. Wait, I didn't say a slur. Wait, what slur did I say? What slur did I say? I don't think I said anything. Clipped or something. Oh, is it Jap? Is it because I said Japs? I still think that's a retarded slur. I don't think that's a slur, and I'm not gonna treat it as such. Yeah. It's like retard. It's like fucking, what do you mean that's a slur? It's literally a shortened version of Japanese. It's the same thing as a flip. Like a Filipino, a flip. Like, yeah, sure, it has connotations of being like, there's like not so friendly connotations associated with it, but who cares? I think it's funny. YouTube doesn't care. Oh, true. False freaked out when I used it. False ID? Wow. Well, unfortunately, I am American. I am not American, so your American slur logic does not work on me. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Okay. Let's talk about this. What's your favorite slur, Dian? Oh, because, hold on. Because I'm from the GTA server in the Philippines, my the favorite slur I like to use is always yawa. Yawa. Yeah. That's like my favorite. But in terms of English slurs, my favorite English slur. What's a list of slurs? Hold on. I'm sure I can. I have a favorite slur that I have a favorite slur that I say out when I'm in an agitated state. Like my go-to slur, but I can't say it right now for some reason. Like it doesn't come out of my mind. Slurs list. Let's see. I don't say these. Oh, I guess I say whore a lot. Whore is like my favorite word. I use it as an insult for everyone. Like it doesn't even, when I say whore, I don't even mean it as like you're a prostitute. I just say whore. You know? Like whore is such a funny thing to me. Don't say it. I'm not gonna say any of these. Chat, I'm sure that slurs being written down is different from slurs being read, right? Like I'm sure the YouTube bots aren't gonna necessarily do anything about that. I guess I don't really say any of these like common slurs. I don't say these. Mackerel slap. So, okay, why is mackerel snapper a fucking slur? What does that mean? Raghead. Okay, I can understand raghead is because, you know, Muslims wear clothes on their heads. I understand that, but what's a mackerel snapper? I think it's Catholic. Yeah, but like what? Like slurs originate because there's like a stereotype or a common action that a certain demographic of people do, and they're making fun of that specifically, right? Or maybe it's an appearance, but I don't know what the fuck this is. Can I say it then? I don't understand it, but can I say it? Okay, I guess retard is not. It is a slur that I use. I don't use cunt. I think cunt is so weak. I think cunt as a slur is so fucking weak. I think whore has such like a whore or harlot has such a funnier effect. You know, I don't go by which is the most offensive. I go by which is the funniest. So, if the most offensive turns out to be the funniest, then I use it. Most of these slurs are using historical context. Oh, yeah. Darky. Half-breed. Okay, so, chat, for reference, Darky, I'm gonna share a story right now. I'm like, compared to like everyone in my classroom back in high school, I have like the most dark skin. I'm not that dark skinned now because I don't go out that much anymore, and as a result, I've kind of whitened out. But back then, I used to be like a sort of active kid. So I go out in the sun a lot. I fucking do things. I fucking like I do things that a lot of people don't want to do under the sun. Okay, and because of that, I was the dark skinned type. Everyone back then used to call me the black nerd, the dark nerd. Yeah. And they always usually mean it as a derogatory thing. Hey, it's the black nerd or something. Yeah. I'm pretty sure, hold on. I'm pretty sure I have it still saved because like I was looking at like my old photos in my old phone like 3 weeks ago, and I just saw that. I was like, "Oh yeah, people used to call me the black nerd." Hold on. Like, they were racist on my ass, bro. Not that I mind. I thought it was funny. Well, at the time, I thought it was funny. I even thought it was endearing. Let's see. Black nerd. Yeah, no, I don't think I want to find it. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, whatever. I may have the same complexion as you. I mean, hey man, you're Filipino. If you're Filipino, then probably. Yeah. In the Philippines, there's a hierarchy. There's a historical hierarchy, right? If you're the lighter skinned you are, the more likely you're going to be treated better. Even in my high school, the whitest people, like the people with the lightest complexions, they were always treated with as like some sort of nobility. You know? Like, they were treated as the most beautiful ones. They were getting into pageants, getting treated differently in favoritism by the teachers, getting surrounded by their peers. Meanwhile, the blacker people, the darker skinned people, not treated with the same sort of grace. That's what I used to experience. It is still racism to a certain extent. Not that I mind. Which is funny actually, because oh god, do I want to share some of my high school stuff? Because I remember when I said I used to have like a female best friend, and we were a female best friend, and we were the closest fucking we were peas in a pod. We didn't have romantic feelings with each other, but she was the most important person in my life back then, and I was hers, right? And she was the most beautiful, whitest person in the room, in our room, right? And whenever somebody wanted to, like, you know, try to be her boyfriend or wanted to flirt with her, I was like a guard dog. I was I sized up people, right? I sized up people, especially because I knew that was really only the extent that I could do. You have to remember, I'm black, or not black, sorry, I'm darker skinned, but I'm also very short, right? And I'm shorter than the girl. Like, the girl was 5'5", and I'm 5'3". So I'm like the fucking guard dog. And I thought the dynamic was just super funny. Because, you know, a lot of people would make the jokes where she's like the slave owner and I'm just the cotton picker or whatever, right? Like, even people back then knew a lot of that historical context. And I thought that was funny. Yeah. Yeah. Simp? Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't even simp because I didn't have like romantic feelings towards her. I wasn't like attached to her in that way. She was just my closest friend at the time. Because I liked the fact that like I was a weird. I think I told you guys, chat. Like I was a weird kid back then. I was I'm the mysterious anime protagonist that has a dark past or whatever. She was really the first and only person that like that decided to engage with me. Decided to engage with me and like look past all of that to be my friend. And you know, the more we talk, the more we realize that you're not you're all right for a white girl, and he said, oh, you're all right for a black guy. So we just kind of like naturally became super close friends. Yeah. And I think, and again, I didn't have romantic feelings for her, right? But that's why I think that may have played a part into why I would like to think I'm aromantic, right? Like I would have to have a high bar. People would have to clear a high bar for me to like for me to get romantically involved with someone. I'm serious. Yeah. What happened in the present? Oh, we just kind of drifted away. Dian, you may connect about VTuber content with the VTuber drama. You're still the weird kid. I am. But hey, I embrace it. I embrace it now. Womp womp. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, we're just talking about like the weird kid stories. Yeah. Why is VTubing now being targeted for arrests? Oh, it's because politics. There's really no other reason for it. People are being weird, I guess. God damn. So anyway, hold on. Because the UK is crap. I want to watch this, okay, chat? Oh shit, my video recommended? Look. My video is recommended. Oh, well, you can't see it now, but like you see the thumbnail, right? That's Matara Khan over here. That's my video. Alright. The most infamous VTubers by royalty is here.
So, VTubers. You know, the anime-looking things that come in many forms, of there being a VTuber based on almost every animal, every mythical beast, and now apparently every food item, in which it is still being debated if these so-called food tubers count as actual VTubers, and if that is true, that means that the first ever VTuber...
I agree with Grixit here. I don't know how to pronounce your name, by the way. Grixit? Grit? GRX-it? But yeah, true.
Was the annoying...
To me, VTubing is a culture. To me, VTubing is more than the medium. It's also the culture. If you don't fit in line with the culture, then you're not a VTuber.
Orange. So do with that information what you will. But it's been some time since I've spoken about VTubers. I've been off this black tar heroin for months now, and it's time to relapse again. Yes, it's time to talk about the virtual content creators where most female avatars in the space have proportions that either defy the laws of physics or look like something straight out of My 300-Pound Life, where most of the
oh shit, remember Bowberry? Holy crap, true!
Are predominantly stored in their chest. It's getting to the
Bowberry, by the way, was the drama where Bow had like that rig toggle where she becomes like a huge fucking fat ass obese bitch, and a lot of like people were calling her fat phobic and like all these isms and obics, And that was a time where people used to really defend Bao, and now it's hard to say if that's still the case.
Now where I'm beginning to wonder if these VTubers are taking a page out of a specific type of fairies book.
That actually goes kind of hard though. I like
Oh
that.
shit, it's Pyrocynica!
And stereotypically, they are very insistent they don't have a significant other, which is a tale as old as time. Oh, that male voice you had in the background? That didn't happen.
The
That was just
Chinese
you
one!
hallucinating. Now make sure your copium supplies are stocked up for tonight's stream, and make sure you've done your homework on the fan-made VTubing ovulation tracker, which was created based on the offhand comments the VTubers had made, which helped them calculate the exact day that VTuber had their period.
They posted tweets of me saying, ow, my tummy hurts, tummy hurt. Guys, that is me preeing a fat dookie. Like, that is me preeing a dump.
Note to self, do not piss off
Don't
a
say that.
VTuber fan or I might be involuntarily.
They're gonna jack off to your
male
shit.
fertility tracker. But VTubing has come a long way since it first started. From what most thought initially would have been a passing trend, to in the current day cementing itself on the internet as a genre of content that is here to stay. And it's easier than ever to become a VTuber if you can afford the price of a down payment on a house.
True. Never mind. Yeah, I was about to say, okay, I've worked with a lot of like VTuber artists and like riggers. Let's see if this is true. And yeah, chat, this is generally true. Like this range is generally true.
If you want a decent model, it's almost got to the point where they are putting the fairies to shame with these prices.
True.
And that's probably because with VTubing being so popular now, it's also led to a rise in things related to it, like the
These are cheap as fuck. Holy shit! I'd like to know what your definition is expensive is. God damn. Dude, 2 months of my YouTube income is worth one VTuber model. Like, understand that.
Controversies, probably due to there being so many VTubers now and such a variety of personalities, to say the least.
No.
Listen up, Nick.
No.
Bridging.
No.
Oh.
No.
OpenAI said.
No.
So let me explain how Nick came
No.
into strategic.
Why are they just
Hyperbridge protocol.
N-word?
But with there being so
There we
many
go.
VTubers now and it being more accessible than ever, essentially meaning almost anyone can become a VTuber nowadays, and because of this it would only be natural for controversies to occur within the space, and there has been quite a lot just these past few years alone. From VTubers having quarrels with their own communities to
Wait, I want to see that.
few years alone. From VTubers having quarrels with their
Never mind.
own communities,
I already
to
knew.
entire libraries worth of Google Docs being published exposing other VTubers. I'm still hoping one day we move away from Google Docs and format exposes in Excel spreadsheets instead, to major corporations built around
Don't remove Google Docs. I need my money.
VTubing crumbling to the ground. But today I wanted to look at some VTubers that behind the guise of an avatar said or did some things that either destroyed the platform they had, or after everything was said and done, their name would only be regarded.
I actually had to put my model on hold because the person I wanted to rig my model let me stop. Unfortunately, that happens a lot, Yinka. I've experienced that bullshittery myself multiple times. I only have one VTuber model. There's a reason why a lot of people are very they're very disillusioned with artists and riggers in this scene, because a lot of them are weird. A lot of them aren't professional, and a lot of them don't work properly.
In one case would end with someone being arrested. But who are these VTubers and what did they do?
Have you ever stopped to think that those cute and quirky VTubers you watch might be more than just entertaining digital personalities? What if I told you they're actually part of a government conspiracy to convince the public that women are real?
So obviously we are going to start with a gentle pegging and then slowly work our way up, with the first VTuber on this list possibly being the most tame in comparison to the others. Cha Chilla is a small...
I hate hearing her name now. I don't even want to talk about her.
Self-proclaimed princess VTuber that has the appearance of a chinchilla, which is like a fat rat. But even though they were small in size, they would cause a drama that would blow up and make their name known throughout the internet, all down to, in my opinion, the most petty reason. And looking at their track record, it might be safe to say they are the Amber Heard of VTubing. So around November 2025, there was a Minecraft server known as the SVASMP, named after the SOX agency, which is a VTubing agency with multiple talents.
Okay.
But despite not being a part of the agency, Cha-Cha and a bunch of other VTubers were welcome to join the server. And the server was known to be heavily roleplay orientated, where the VTubers would take on characters and interact with each other as said characters. Think of it like a more casual version of GTA RP.
Well, I do miss you.
Miss you too, baby, but yeah.
Okay. I hope it's not too long, because I don't want to wait
Oh god. Oh god.
too long to have sex.
It's going to be a long video, chat. It's going to be a long video.
Things on the Minecraft server were rather peaceful. It was just a bunch of big and small VTubers role-playing and having fun. But obviously, things wouldn't be that way for long. On the 18th of November, Chiller would make a public tweet they would later delete, calling out the SOX VTuber agency and members of the agency such as Flock and Ad3, claiming that these parties were essentially endorsing ableism and making light of her disability, and she would attach a 3-second clip to that tweet where there was a role-playing event months prior to this involving a team going against another team, and one of the members of the team going against Cha-Cha Chiller's team referred to them as inferior.
Okay. Yes, I remember.
They're inferior, we're just better. That's what they're saying there.
Cha-Cha also claimed that
that
when
was
she tried
Kazahana.
to talk about this to Flock, he would block her and tell her not to bring up personal issues with his talent. Now immediately off rip, people were not on her side, and that post would actually get quickly community noted, saying she was wrong. Because not only was this event months ago and she was only bringing this up now, but it was also a bit of a stretch to call people ableist for saying this and assuming she was the one targeted out of everyone else on her team. Eventually Flock, one of the people called out in the post, would respond, saying they already spoke about this, a group actually reviewed this claim and found no wrongdoing, and he had already told her not to contact him anymore. She would then respond to this saying, actually, you didn't tell me to stop messaging you, and then leaks DMs showing messages that clearly show him saying he was uncomfortable talking to her. All in all, people just thought she was bringing this up for no reason or to simply cause drama or be a victim, especially after the situation was looked at and reviewed months ago. But apparently it's not the only time she did something like this, because they apparently had multiple VTubing personas. When they were first Nyan Cherise, they apparently did the same thing there and was claimed to harass people. Then they moved on to Bunny Alisu, which had even worse allegations like doxing and revenge porn. And after all of that, they eventually became Cha-Cha Chiller. But by this point, nobody believed Cha-Cha, and she would apologize. She then claimed she's going to the hospital, providing a picture of which many would claim was fake, and she wouldn't provide verification when asked. She then goes on to try and prove that the people making accusations about her previous personas, specifically the VTuber Apollo, claiming they are lying, but with all the screenshots provided, some were thought to be fake. To this day, months later, she is still claiming to be a victim, still talking about the situation, and still obtaining community notes like they were on a fire sale.
Gunpei. Oh, I remember Gunpei.
So Gunpei is a name that is somewhat well known within the VTuber community.
I remember
not for
Gunpei.
a good reason. She's someone we spoke about before, like a year ago, but obviously things got a lot worse since then, like a lot worse. But if you don't know, Gunpei was a VTuber that was just a bit unhinged.
A bit?
Streaming. I hate streaming and VTubing.
A bit? Okay, buddy.
I hate VTubers.
I do too.
VTubers have ruined my life. Every unfunny female VTuber who replies to my tweets deserves to get by a sledgehammer. I'm gonna buy a sledgehammer on Temu. I'll make sure it's wrapped in microplastics, and I will wrap that sledgehammer around it. I will fuck them.
You're my little.
Oh god. Oh wait, really? Chat, I never knew. Oh god, it's always Filipinos. Oh my god. It's always Filipinos, bro. The best VTubers are always Filipino. The worst VTubers are always also Filipino.
Pi was a dog VTuber that debuted
Fuck,
in September
dude.
of 2024. and she quite quickly developed a loyal following, primarily because her content was made up of two things. One, she was a so-called girl failure with a mental illness, which was probably attractive to her audience at the time because they thought they could fix her or they related to her. And two, her content focused on the so-called girlfriend experience, which is a term mainly used in the adult industry, but in the streaming space it often translates to the streamer farming a parasocial relationship with their audience like they are dating them.
I'm rubbing my tummy. Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
Oh god.
I'm rubbing my tummy.
Fucking internet.
But the result of this is often the streamer being showered with gifts by their audience because the streamer is directly feeding into the illusion that they share some form of relationship even though the viewer probably knows nothing about the personal life of said streamer. And Gunpei played into this hard, like too hard. She heavily insisted that she was actually dating her viewers to the extent that if they were talking to any other female or had a relationship, they were cheating on her. And they were not even allowed to speak about any other females in things like her Discord. She also took tributes from her fans.
Hey, you know what? It's weird, but I respect the hustle, man. I do.
By tributes, I don't mean money or items of value.
We know what
mean
tributes.
Things like cum tributes.
Yes.
Which is where, you know what, I'm not even going to explain this. Go f*** yourself. On her Tumblr page that has now been deleted, you can find under her commonly asked questions a line saying her fans can send her anything, and I mean anything, including intimate pictures with examples like peni pics and said tributes, and she was more than happy to receive them, even saying she was going to archive them. You know, to each their own. Someone out there is probably happy their favourite VTuber or Oshi has a picture of their cocktail sausage somewhere on their SSD. But funny enough...
You know, if I was a female VTuber, I would be doing this too. I'd be farming you guys, you know that? Like, I'd be fucking going, yeah, chat, for $10, like, every week or every month or something, I'll, send me a picture of your penis and I'll review it. I'll worship it or something. I don't know. Yeah, I would do that. I keep saying this every chance that I can get, but if I was a woman, I'd be a whore. I'd be an e-whore.
This wasn't what made her so controversial in the space. And I would argue that in
I would be like the most intense GFE. I would.
Communities like VTubing, this type of behaviour isn't rare, so it didn't ring any alarm bells initially. But the thing that actually did make her known to the wider internet was in November of 2024. When a person was doing a commission for a fan of hers making a plushie of her VTuber model, and they had leftover material, so they asked if anyone else wanted one for a price. And Gunpei saw this and got very angry, thinking this person was using her brand to make a profit and she was getting nothing out of it. Which also led to a number of public tweets shitting on the person and where they come from, but a lot of people were actually on the side of the person who made the plushie.
How greedy can you be? Fan merch is a thing, bro.
Including bigger VTubers, and the tide quickly turned against Gunpei, leading to her crashing out even more. This is the situation that put her on everyone's radar, and it wouldn't make much of an impact on her streaming career. She would go MIA for a bit, but when she came back, she still had an audience waiting for her, probably with a show and tell of their latest tribute they made after saving up for a week. But if she could get away with this in the comments she made, it almost looked like she could get away with anything. Any offhand comment, any racial remark, because her community was loyal and infatuated with her. And probably in their eyes, she could do no wrong. Well, until the curtains of that delusion came crashing down because Gunpei was cheating on her audience. She had an actual boyfriend.
There we
In
go.
March of 2025, a document would be dropped by a past friend of Gunpei, showing screenshots of their interactions where Gunpei is seen gloating about possibly getting into a relationship with a guy and him playing the manager role for her VTubing career. With this female VTuber...
Oh god, he's pulling them. I didn't know it was a manager angle. I've actually, I haven't watched Rima's videos about Gunpei. I know the rough, like, TLDR of the Gunpei situation, but I didn't know the boyfriend was also, like, playing the manager thing.
VTubers are never going to escape the manager that is actually a boyfriend accusation. There are additional screenshots shown in the document, like her on an alt saying she's falling in love with this person and that she bought him an ASMR dildo.
What?
How does that even work?
What?
But when this was made public, Gunpei was cooked. It was GG next game for this VTuber.
Sure.
Her audience felt absolutely betrayed, and she would immediately take down all her public profiles, and anything made or posted by Gunpei was wiped clean. It was rumoured that one of her fans after this actually committed, but regarding that, there's no hard evidence. There was only public tweets of them seeming distressed about her having a boyfriend. But that is one of the many unfortunate things that can happen when you feed into such an unhealthy...
Has she returned? I feel like people like this will always usually return.
...parasocial relationship as a streamer. She did sell off her avatar for around $2,000, of which someone actually bought it not to make a meme out of it, but to preserve it.
I remember this.
And she did attempt to rebrand as another VTuber, but obviously with the reputation that followed her, that was unsuccessful.
Oh, okay. I'm guessing Royalty will mention it.
I was going to go over another VTuber story here, but because it's very similar to Gunpei's, I thought I'd just combine them and go through it very quickly. The VTuber Elfin
Wait, fucking... okay.
Psyop is someone that cultivated the same audience as Gunpei. She was known to be a girl failure, an alcoholic, a gooner, and having some very controversial opinions.
I really did like Elfin Psyop. She was funny. On Twitter, she was funny. Obviously, don't agree with the things that she's doing. But I always felt like she was funny.
This is one of her posts she was most known for.
I can't do it.
It's the Jews.
It's too difficult.
It's the Jews.
But it's all my fault.
It's the Jews again.
It would later get revealed she was gooning, sending NSFW pictures of herself.
I think, like, okay... I think Elfin Psyop is funny because it's a train wreck. It is. She's like... Fuck. I look at her the same way I look at DSP. But like, she's an anime girl, so she's funnier. And she actually owns it instead of like, you know, pretending to be, yeah.
And had relationships with people in her audience, specifically the mods of her Discord server, with most of them not knowing the other guys existed and that she was doing the same activities with them. It was also discovered that even though she was very vocal about people that were not white, she herself was one of the people she preached about. And she would Photoshop her pictures to appear as white as possible and not her default skin colour, as she was originally from Pakistan and moved to the UK. It was also revealed that there were underage
fucking illegal immigrant!
Discord server where they would be exposed to NSFW material and Elfin would contribute to it. In response to the claim about having relationships with multiple people, she would say she was in a terrible state, they took advantage of her, and she always told them she was not a person to date people. She'd also say she was not grooming the person in her Discord server.
Nah man, we all know. Fucking Elfin Psyop, we saw your play, bro. You were not groomed, you out-groomed them.
And then the victim would respond saying they were not groomed. And then when the NSFW pictures she sent to people privately were being circulated on the internet, she would claim at that time she was not an adult, meaning that when she was sending these files to people, she was knowingly distributing illegal material.
You out-groomed them, but then you fucking outplayed yourself. What the fuck were you thinking, Elf? Jesus Christ!
People.
You're a retard,
people were
man!
hesitant to believe this story at the time because it seemed like a claim she would use to get out of this whole mess. But with this, the NSFW interactions with some of her supporters, apparently even the existence of a boyfriend, and lying about her nationality while some could say preaching against it, this would all result in a lot of her diehard fans abandoning her, and she would quickly delete everything and disappear from the internet.
Honey is such a good girl.
We're gonna talk about Tarakaru. Wait, I thought Royalty would talk about Gunpei's return or something. I actually didn't know Gunpei made a return.
Hi, baby girl.
So this is the first male VTuber we're going to be talking about on this list, and probably the only one. Because once again, in my opinion, there aren't that many male VTubers compared to female. Yeah,
well, yes. Actually, you know what, Royalty? If you actually did a little digging, you would find that there's a lot of male VTubers who did this shit. but they all have the same strat, so you only pulling up Torakaru is valid. Because the things that Torakaru does is basically the same things that every male VTuber is known to be doing that does too.
But just because there's less doesn't mean there's any shortage of controversies surrounding them. Torakaru was a VTuber that debuted in 2022. His design was said to be a completely normal human that cosplayed as a tiger. Now, Tora's content was kind of like the opposite of the girlfriend experience I described previously, because in his case, it was more like a boyfriend experience.
Honey?
Oh! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Skip! Wait, hold on. Oh my god. Oh! God, he's trying to pull the Vox, but worse. What we're gonna do? Actually, you know what? If I'm gonna suffer, you guys are gonna suffer too.
Such a good girl. Hi, baby girl. I would be your sugar daddy, on God, no cap.
Fuck!
And give you everything that I could possibly. Emily. I love Emily so much.
Now, Tora would also do NSFW content.
Is that Mari? Wait, Mari collab with what? Now I gotta ask her that.
Known to act very
I'm just curious.
flirty towards his viewers and other VTubers. But around his 2.0 debut, in his own words, he would attempt to separate the NSFW from his usual content and would attempt to be less flirty, even saying previously he was a lot worse in an interview.
Okay.
So, starting like when I got my 2.0, I got my I started using an alt account for NSFW stuff, and on my main account, I very, very rarely am quote unquote down bad or say anything like sexual or flirty or stuff like that, right?
Now you would assume
Was that Rima? Wait, that sounded like Rima. Of course, wait. That's probably not Rima, but like that resemblance.
Say anything like sexual or flirty or stuff like that, right?
Now you would assume
that sounded like Rima, right?
that, you know, the flirting he was doing on stream with others or with his chat, this was just an act for entertainment purposes. You wouldn't think it was serious or how he behaved off camera. But as it turns out, that assumption would be wrong, and this type of behavior he exhibited was just the tip of the iceberg. It would actually be much worse and result in over 10 people coming out with their uncomfortable experiences with this VTuber. In March of 2024, the first of many statements regarding Tora's behavior would be released. This was made by a fellow VTuber named Lily, and in this document she would talk about her personal experience with Tora. These two were initially well acquainted. They met through a mutual friend's Discord server, and Tora was one of the people that were there for her when she was going through a breakup. At the time, it was stated Tora was showing some interest in Lily, but there would be problems preventing them from progressing to that point. A year after meeting, there was a discussion of a group trip to Anime Expo 2023.
It's always cons. Cons are like the playground for like these sorts of people.
This including both Tora, Lily, and others. When Tora heard Lily was going to be there, he supposedly became excited and started to make advances towards Lily. This included allegedly sending unsolicited dick pics, requesting pictures, sexual comments like how he would bit to her streams, and he made it known he wanted to do things when they met. Now Lily did say she felt uncomfortable by these advances, but because of him previously helping her with their breakup and
she was willing to look it over,
some feelings for him, she wouldn't outright shut down these advances. When it came to the trip on the
I kind of look at these situations weird now. I'm starting to actually think that, you know, if you are uncomfortable with it, sure, you know, to a certain extent, if you don't like, if you're uncomfortable with it, you don't have to react in a way that would explicitly say no. But I feel like the moment you react positively to these sorts of things, but then when you're deeply uncomfortable, actually, maybe part of that is on you. You know? Like, it's one thing to not respond, or it's one thing for a female person, for a girl to feel uncomfortable with something and not say anything. But it's also one thing for a content or for a girl to feel uncomfortable, make a positive reaction, and then later call the guy out on it. Like, I feel like you're wanting to have your cake and eat it too.
The second day they would eventually meet, and he would allegedly state he had no interest in doing anything because there was somebody else he was interested in. This is something she would say she was relieved to hear, but was upset that he led her on for months prior and pressured her into doing things, making it seem like he wanted her. The two at the end of the day would go to an Airbnb where her friend let the both of them stay because Lily's hotel was over an hour away, and the two of them would sleep on the couch as they were unexpected guests and there wasn't any rooms for them. Whilst trying to sleep on different ends of the couch, it's said that Tora at some point starts making unwanted advances towards Lily, kissing her on the cheek and whispering in her ear, and at this point she was pinned and wanted him off. Unfortunately, because of the commotion, one of the people they were staying with would come check on them, where Tora would then supposedly jump off her. The person didn't notice.
Wait a minute, I think I remember covering this docky. Did I cover this docky a while back? I think I do.
Anything, and Tora even remarked at how creepy the person looked with the lighting and took a picture. After that night, she doesn't recount any other conversation with Tora whilst on the trip. She would confront him months later, but he allegedly brushed her off and thought she was mad because they didn't do anything. She would correct him on this, which he apologizes and says he will be better, but he still didn't directly address the assault. After this, she doesn't cut contact straight away, as she initially thought she was overreacting because of the way he reacted when she confronted.
Okay, so basically, TLDR is that at first she was accepting his response, but then when it came to the part where like he pinned her down, that's when
Eventually she opens up to others about this and realizes she wasn't overreacting, leading to her cutting him off, cancelling collabs with him and confronting him again, where this time he does somewhat address what happened. And a few weeks later after this, she would release this document, which led many others to come out with their own stories, where similar things happened to them. Love bombing, requesting personal information, talking the same way to some VTubers that were underage.
It's the Saikuno strat!
He made a list of VTubers he wanted in his harem or to breed with, and even in one instance he to come out with their own stories, where similar things happened to them. Love bombing, requesting personal information, talking the same way to some VTubers that were underage. He made a list of
Get me off your disgusting list if you haven't checked. Oh my god.
VTubers he wanted in his harem or to breed with, and even in one instance he sent a whole ASMR video to one of these girls.
You know, he is super creepy. You know, maybe, okay, so look, looking at it in hindsight, maybe he is not. Actually, yeah, I'd still say I'd still say the same.
To you, I have to give you a content warning because this is disturbing content, so be warned.
Okay, look, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna up the volume. I'm gonna up the volume and we're gonna suffer this, okay, chat? We're gonna suffer this.
You're such a cutie. I wanna kiss you.
Ugh! Fuck, dude! Get away from me!
I love you.
Get away from me!
I love you, Zenith. You're the best.
Okay, buddy. Okay. Get off me! Get the fuck off me!
Glad to become your friend.
Okay, buddy.
You're so skilled at art. And you're very cute. And very pretty.
Okay, sorry, I can't take it. I can't take it. I can't take it. I have to mute it. I have to mute it. Oh, God. Wait, it keeps going! It keeps going! What? Wasn't it only like... Oh, God.
Advances to a lot of
Wasn't it only like 15-20 seconds? That was the longest 20 seconds of my life, dude.
in the space. This was a repetitive pattern. Unfortunately, it took one document to inspire others to come out with their stories. Tora released his own document where he acknowledged some wrongdoing whilst disputing parts of the allegations, but he would say in the same document he was ultimately going to graduate, unlike some of the other VTubers I've mentioned would wipe everything and leave the internet.
To be fair, I did the same thing. I can't criticize him on that. I did the same thing when I got cancelled.
The story and what Tora did, this was a basic summary of that. If you want a full look into it, there's a good video by Safira Denoma on it, which helped me with this.
People who play Mercy are not being even remotely respected. I'm not saying, oh, you need to respect us. It's a matter of...
This guy's name is familiar. Who was she again?
We're not even being treated as a human being right now.
Evie was someone that previously used to be a fleshy and was a well-known Overwatch streamer, but they would eventually become a VTuber while still primarily creating Overwatch content.
I know that name, I just don't remember.
They were fairly well known in the Overwatch space, and they were even occasionally recognized by the creators of Overwatch, Blizzard. In one instance, getting invited to test out the abysmal dogshit that was Overwatch 2 before launch, and after getting this privilege, even they shat on it. They were also known for being a highly skilled Mercy player, on top of being very open about their identity as a trans woman, where she would regularly talk about her experience with being trans in the Overwatch space. Overall, they were...
If that's your entire personality on the internet, like, I feel like if you're a trans person, that's fine, right? Don't make that your whole personality, though. Don't pull a fucking Niara on your ass.
A well-known and somewhat respected member of the Overwatch community. However, in the current day, their reputation is anything but respected. The crack started to show in 2022, where Eve's girlfriend at the time, Raymay, had allegations of cheating in Overwatch games, being racist, and supposedly talking explicitly to those underage. Now, none of these initial claims are well documented because Raymay wasn't as well known, and in the aftermath, everything was deleted, so it's hard to track down anything related to this. But what apparently happened is Raymay gets called out on Twitter, Eve gets involved defending her, saying the person doing this is only doing this to provide a quote-unquote gotcha moment. Her girlfriend only cheated in one game whilst she was off her meds and blackout drunk, and that the DMs leaked...
Cheating is cheating, though.
...of them supposedly talking...
You get got fucking cheating in a video game, you get banned, that's on you.
...to those underage were all fake. Once again, this situation wasn't well documented, but it would get brought up
Bro's pulling the fucking reflections from fucking the Celeste OST.
Again in January of 2023, where Raymay was exposed again for doing the same things, or the same story as before was being reiterated, it's unclear. But there were actually some archived screenshots of this conversation. And once again, Eve would go on the defense for her girlfriend, but this time it was collectively agreed that this defense was absolutely terrible. Because her excuse...
That's not too bad, to be fair. If that's like if this is like the entire drama, like she's just trying to defend the girlfriend from cheating in Overwatch, I feel like, yeah, maybe you're weird for doing that. Obviously, there's a bias there, but I feel like that's not enough to get cancelled, right?
For why her girlfriend...
But I'm gonna imagine this is going to slowly bleed into like pedophilic accusations.
Did these things...
I'm gonna call it out right now.
Because it was a coping mechanism. Yeah. The only way someone would believe that was if you had some Saul Goodman-like lawyer skills, or if you had the ability to Jedi mind trick someone into believing you. But obviously, this did not work, and both Raymay and Eve would understandably receive a lot of backlash and see a major hit to their reputation, as this was the primary thing they were known for around this time. Probably after seeing this and seeing the internet wasn't on her side, Eve would make a tweet longer, taking a different stance compared to previously, where she would condemn her girlfriend's actions, claiming they are no longer in a relationship, and she would claim she condoned this behavior because she herself wasn't in the best headspace and wanted to see the best in people, and finally that she should have took people's advice, but that she will change to make sure this doesn't happen again. This response obviously didn't do much of anything. Her reputation was completely in the toilet at this point, but it was about to get 10 times worse.
Oh god.
Because a few days later, a 31-page document would be
Wow!
Not
That's a
on
lot of
Reime's
views.
actions this time, but on Eve's. This included testimonies and statements from at least 6 people, several of which were previous partners. Now there are a lot of allegations in this document, but just to list a few, it said they had a pattern of cheating involving multiple relationships. It was said they were emotionally abusive, manipulative, and regularly suicided. They were also said to be hypersexual to the point where they would peer pressure or violate consent, and finally that they themselves was talking inappropriately to
always pedophiles. Why does that keep happening?
those underage. That is just a few of the allegations against them. There are a lot more in the full document, but with this document being released, people are now looking towards Eve to see how she would respond. Would she deny all of this and claim her innocence, or even provide counter-evidence to prove them wrong? No, she wouldn't really do anything. She said she was going to respond, but then apparently decided nah, she's not going to, and just deleted or privated a lot of her
She just said, fuck it, yeah.
content and then left the internet. And one of the only things left behind would be people responding to her statement.
How hard is it, right, to just not do anything with kids? Like, I don't know, man. I don't get it. Like, if sexual stuff is like what you're looking for in any sort of engagement with anybody, why does it have to be specifically with kids? Like, what's up with these hypersexual people and these mentally ill people, and why is it always kids? I have never heard of this name.
So the last story I wanted to go over is one that I don't
NPC
think
Kingdom, yeah, all is cool.
has been looked into much, primarily because this happened in Japan, so there's a language barrier when looking at the articles discussing it, on top of the fact this happened some time ago and there's been no new updates, and it involves VTubers that were rather small. Also, the evidence that this ties to the VTuber community isn't exactly concrete, so take it with a grain of salt, and just to warn you,
yeah, no wonder I haven't heard of it. This is literally before I even started making VTuber videos.
I'm about to discuss some graphic things, so viewer discretion is advised. But who is this VTuber? Well, it's not just one, it's two, a male and a female, and behind their VTubing persona, these two were actually married. These VTubers were Kura Zakura, who was 27 at the time, and his wife, Al Kumamasha, who was 28. I'm just gonna call them Kura and Al because I can't pronounce their names for shit. Now, these two weren't your normal VTubers. They were known as VTweeters, where instead of live streaming or creating videos like normal VTubers, they were known to only tweet on the Twitter or X platform, hence the name VTweeter, and their form of content was normally just posting about their lives and occasionally something about their character. Kuro, the male in the relationship, even had his own lore, where he was a fox spirit that had fallen into darkness, betrayed by his best friend, resulting in him making
Shut the fuck up! Oh my god! Stop it! Dude, if you're a VTuber, why are you... What? Okay, well, to be fair, this was early VTubing. But dude, shut the fuck up! Just say you're a demon fox fallen into darkness. Don't stop making this betrayed by my best friend, succumbing to the darkness and forming a contract with a certain alchemist. Like, what? No. Dude, shut up.
Contract with a certain alchemist, that alchemist being his wife, the VTuber Al, who posted the same things her husband did, usually things about her day.
Okay, that kind of makes it better. At least there was like a direction there.
Have any lore to her character?
You don't like lore? I hate lore these days. I used to really like lore, but think of like at least 5 VTubers who broke down all this fucking intense, like, you know, novella-esque lore, and think of any VTuber who stuck up with that. No, I don't like lore now, because there's no VTuber that's going to stick with their lore. Nobody.
It seemed her husband was a lot more into it than her, but they would occasionally LARP together talking about the darkness, how there's nothing they can do about it, and how he's like Schrödinger's cat, which is a thought experiment involving the quantum superposition principle where something can exist in multiple states at once. But for the clinically brain dead like me, I probably explained that wrong. I'm pretty sure
lore is good if you're pushing it into merchandising. Yeah, if you want to have lore, you gotta use it. I don't like lore anymore because nobody uses it.
Sure, he's just trying to say he's two things at once, like Schrödinger's cat was dead and alive. Now, these two seemed like a normal couple, both enjoying this as a hobby. Kuro was working a job that I assume from what he said was working on a farm, and Al was also working whilst trying to find work as an illustrator. From the outside, it seemed like their lives, although heavily work-focused, was somewhat ordinary and satisfactory for them, and it was about to see a big change as Al was now expecting a child, of which they were both happy to announce. However, even if everything appeared normal on the outside, things would quickly change to a more sinister turn around August of 2021. Because even though their relationship appeared happy on the outside, in reality it was anything but. The husband was talking to another woman who was an 18-year-old high school student named Kana Washino, who some have claimed was also a VTuber, but the sources cited show an account that was active in 2023, which wouldn't make sense with what happened next. Now, Kuruma was in contact with this girl for 2 years. Was he cheating? It was never stated, but his wife knew he had contact with her, and because they would speak so much, the wife became extremely jealous. She eventually reached her boiling point in 2021, where to resolve the issue, both the married couple and Kana agreed to meet and sort things out. On the 28th of August, Kana would leave her family home, telling her parents she was meeting her friends and would be back soon. But when she didn't return that night, her parents would alert the police. Shortly after alerting the police, days later, Kana's body was found on a remote property. She had been
that took a turn. Jesus.
Strangled over a rope and stabbed multiple times. Both Kuro or Sohei Komori and his wife Al or Izumi Komori would be arrested and questioned.
この事件は東京墨田区の高校3年鷲野花夏さんの遺体を山梨県内の物置小屋に遺棄したとして群馬県に住む小森章平容疑者と妻の泉容疑者が逮捕されたものです。
Now, when Kana left that day to meet them, there was a conversation where the wife wanted her to no longer contact her husband, but for some reason that is not explained in any of the articles I found. This conversation quickly soured and the wife was not happy. This resulted in the couple taking her against her will to their house, where they would begin planning what to do with her, with them in an interview saying, and I quote, "We searched for a place to kill her." They decided to take her to a remote property where they would kill her and then dump her body, and she would be found a few days later. Both would be found guilty. The husband would get 23 years in prison, even though the prosecution argued it should be 25, and the wife would only get 18 years because it was said she played a secondary role in the murder. Now, it isn't documented why they decided to murder her after the conversation. They could have just gone their separate ways. But the Japanese police think it was because the conversation regarding the relationship was going nowhere. Personally, I think, yes, this is coming from a professional idiot and from complete speculation, but I think the husband, despite his wife's wishes, didn't want to cut contact and instead just decided to kill her. But once again, that's just my speculation. But how do we know that this is the VTubers we spoke about earlier? Well, people on 5chan would supposedly find their names tagged to the VTubing account, and after both were arrested, their accounts would go inactive on the same day. Not only that, but another VTuber that did a stream with the wife released a statement saying he's distancing himself from them after the news broke. And after this, both of their Twitter accounts would be bombarded with comments regarding the situation. That is all I could find in terms of people connecting the accounts, and in my opinion, I think it's the same people, but once again, take it with a grain of salt. The husband is estimated to be released in 2044, and his wife is estimated to be released in 2039. That's only 13
Wow. Jesus, I don't even know. I don't know how to react to this, by the way. Yeah.
This video.
God damn.
So in conclusion, those are some of the most infamous VTubers, obviously.
Alright, thank you, Royalty. God damn. God damn. Jesus. Jesus Christ. That was very bad. Okay, well, it makes sense that the tamest one is guilty of revenge porn. Yeah. 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 It's fascinating to like discover and see like the culture of Google Dockies these days, TBH. It is. Where is Rusha? Not here. Oh, there's Rusha. She can't keep getting away with it. Hold on, I have... Wow. Very infamous, huh? I wonder if she'll talk about... Nah, never mind. I was expecting her to talk about Marina or something. Remember Marina? From VT Rainbow or something? Yeah, that was wild, huh? Wild. I think 23 years in jail is like I think 23 years in jail is like a fitting crime for murder, IMO. To me, anything above murder, sorry. To me, anything that's like murder or like life ruining, 20 years above. Bro, put that bro in the slammer until he's missed his entire fucking life. Yeah. Whatever happened to Marina? I have no idea. Let's actually look at it. Oh wow, wait, I gotta hit the like on this one. Very hot, very attractive. Okay, stop scrolling, stop scrolling. Okay. Marina VT or something. Is she still alive? What's her name now? Is this her? No, probably not her. Wait, what the fuck is what's her? Wasn't it Varina VT? No, that's not her. No, that's not her. Wait, is she gone? Is her account nuked? Literally cannot find her. True, Hogwarts. True. God, I hate seeing this fucking girl's face. Oh, it's Marina VT after underscore. This one. The underscore is on the other side. Oh, there she is. Oh, she's still active. She's still active, I guess. Well, I'd rather not scroll through that, because, I know I'm gonna get banned. Wait, what are we doing today? Oh, I think we pretty much crossed down, like, the things that we were supposed to be talking about today. So, we womp that shit, I guess. Oh, gem alarm! Gem alarm! Will you talk about the VSPO, suspension? What happened to VSPO? So 2 of them. Okay, let's look at both. So there's 2 suspensions from VSPO? What happened here? Alright, I'd rather read English, please. EN, they have an EN version. Okay, nice. EN, please. Bro, their EN toggle doesn't work. Look at this, okay? Look at this. Oh. Oh. Hold on. You have an EN toggle. You see this? EN. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Let's just see the quote retweets. 18 million views is huge, by the way. 18 million views. Holy crap. To all of you who have supported me and to everyone involved, as officially announced, it's been confirmed that there was an incident in my own actions that partially violated the terms of my contract with the agency. Therefore, I will be suspending my activities for the time being. So she violated her contract. These two people violated her contract. This is a huge VTuber, by the way. I know Yuhi. Or at least I know of her. Well, I guess there's not much to say. Other than this seems like a Yozo Ramel situation, but at least instead of being terminated, they got fucked. They got, like, you know, they breached contract or something, I guess. Yeah, there's not that much to say. Okay, let's see. I think that's going to be it for today, chat. I want to save a lot of my reaction stuff for later. For example, right? I want to play this, but on another time. I want to play a lot of these videos, but on another time. Yeah. So, thank you all for coming. And again, thank you for the generous super chats. Let's see if we can raid somebody. Who are we raiding? Can we raid somebody? Let's see. Who are we raiding here? There's not that much that we can raid, actually. Good night. Yeah, good night, everybody. Thank you all for the stream. And thank you all for the stuff here. Thank you for coming. Kayson's milking Hololive? What? Okay. Fuck, it's too late. I already said good night, so we can't go on it. I wanted to come talk about it, but whatever now. Alright, chat. I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.